Today we're going to go over another rookie draft. This is an actual real draft that was just completed by one of the subscribers that was sent in to me. And if I get a draft, I'm going to go over it, especially right now. I'm going to drop everything, go over the draft with you guys. That way we get a good idea of the market, of what's going on with these picks and what other people are doing. So we get an idea of what to do in our leagues or how to value it. And then we get kind of like an ADP kind of together out of that. But let's go ahead. Let's dig into the draft. But before we do, make sure you smash that subscribe button right now. I'm the only one out here dropping mock draft, rookie drafts on their channels every day, rankings during the draft process, last weekend, Thursday to Saturday, 15, 16 YouTube videos giving you live updates of what's going on. Only one out here hustling for you guys. So you're going to get a lot of information for your rookie drafts. But let's dig in. Let's take a look. Let's see what the damage that was done in this here rookie draft. This is 4 rounds and it's Superflex. So the first pick off the board, since it's Superflex, do you think they went quarterback? Nah, they went Bijan Robinson, 101. Generational prospect. A lot of people have been waiting on him. So this is very understandable. But in a lot of drafts that I've seen, it's a mix. Mostly Bijan, but we're also seeing some of the quarterbacks coming off the board. So it's not a surprise here at the 102 second pick off the board that we're going quarterback. And here they went with Bryce Young of the Panthers. First quarterback off the board in the real NFL draft. Been the QB1 in ADP all offseason long, and here he is. 103, another quarterback coming off the board to no surprise, but it's Anthyony Richardson to the Colts, which is understandable. Upside for days. Rushing production is in his prospect profile. A lot of people are drafting him over Bijan Robinson. He's the guy going one-on-one in a lot of leagues, and they're just taking that upside play in Superflex, and I get the strategy there. So at 103, they're going Anthyony Richardson. Going to the 4th pick here off the board. Last quarterback of the first round, last of the top quarterbacks, CJ Stroud of the Texans. Big arm, top-tier prospect. They're getting him some weapons. They're trying their best to rebuild the team. Let's see how everything develops here at the 105. The next running back coming off the board, and you know who it is. Drafted 12th overall, and it's Jahmyr Gibbs of the Lions. They traded away DeAndre Swift right away the next day within 24 hours. And now he is the guy for the Detroit Lions, and they're going to use him in the passing game. He's going to get all the opportunity to succeed and help you guys out in fantasy football. At 106, first wide receiver coming off the board is Jaxon Smith-Njigba to the Seattle Seahawks. Should be getting good numbers early in his career. We have DK Metcalf on the other side, take the heat off him. Should develop nice in this role. At 107, we got Jordan Addison, wide receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. Like Jaxon Smith-Njigba, he's sharing the field with an alpha wide receiver. Him and Justin Jefferson together should be a good pair. Take the heat off of Jordan Addison, allow him to work. At the 108, another wide receiver coming off the board because this is the wide receiver run, and we see this in a lot of drafts, and it's Quentin Johnston of the Chargers. Good spot here for him. Very good spot here for him because he's in a depth chart here with a bunch of aging wide receivers who are now often injured, and then he's got the size, he's got the speed, he can get you the yards downfield. He's an air yards guy, and he can get you yards after the catch. Is a good spot for him to blossom, and he's getting a good quarterback. What more else do you want out of him? At 109 now in this draft, 9th player off the board, the last wide receiver here, Zay Flowers of the Ravens. Lamar Jackson gets his Marquise Brown back. He's going to get air yards in this offense. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets a 30% share of the air yards. Mark Andrews obviously is going to get a large portion of the targets. Rashad Bateman's there. Let's see how he comes back from that Liz Frank. But Zay Flowers, 109 here in this year's draft. 10th player off the board, and this is where things get ambiguous. Here they drafted Dalton Kincaid of the Buffalo Bills. He should be getting some run early. He's in a good offense, and there's going to be a lot of volume to go around. At 111, another tight end coming off the board, and that's Michael Mayer of the Raiders, who fell to the 2nd round of the real NFL draft. He is a very dependable tight end, can be used in the passing game. Give him some time to develop, though. And then to finish off the 1st round at 112, another quarterback coming off the board here, Will Levis of the Titans. In the real NFL draft, fell to the 2nd round. Holds some Superflex value, though, so you're going to look at this developmental prospect and just hope for the best. Going over round 1 real quick before we move on. Bijan Robinson, your 101. Then we followed this up with Bryce Young, Anthyony Richardson, and CJ Stroud. Jahmyr Gibbs was your next running back off the board. And then we had a run of wide receivers. Smith-Njigba, Jordan Addison, Quentin, Johnston, and Zay Flowers. Last 3 picks of this round is going to be ambiguous. Dalton, Kincaid, Michael Mayer, and Will Levis. With that being said, let's move on to the second round. Let's see what the damage that has been done. So at the 201, first player off the board in the second round, we got Devon Achane, running back of the Dolphins. Most of you guys would have took him in the first, and you're probably typing that in the comments right now. I want this guy in the first, and here he is coming off 201. Superflex is going to be ambiguous. That last part of the first round is going to be ambiguous, and this part early in the second is going to be ambiguous. But he's got some things in his profile that people like. He's got that speed. He's on the Dolphins offense. They're going to use him. They're going to use him. Look at him as a weapon and less of a running back. He should get somewhere 10, 12 touches a game, something like that. Once he starts to heat up, not instantly, but once he starts to get transitioned into this offense. At the 202, another running back's coming off the board. He's one of my favorites, and that's Kendre Miller of the Saints, drafted in the 3rd round. They're going to be looking to use him soon. Alvin Kamara's not going to be around too long. Kendre Miller's in a good spot here for his size-adjusted athleticism to shine. At the 203, we got another running back coming off the board, and that's Roschon Johnston of the Bears. Fell to the 4th round. First running back selected on day 3. Good size-adjusted athleticism. And this depth chart has a good pathway to where we can see him be successful early. At 204, we had a running back that fell down the board. You probably already guessed who it was. And it's Charbonnet of the Seattle Seahawks. Drafted in the 2nd round, but it's going to be sharing the backfield with Kenneth Walker. Walker, though, is a stud running back, too. So this touch distribution is going to be tough to figure out. Let's see what happens here. Charbonnet, though, cheap get right here in this draft. At 205, another quarterback coming off the board. You probably guessed it. Hendon Hooker of the Lions fell to the 3rd round. Developmental prospect. Jared Goff looks like he's going to get a contract extension or re-signed or however that works. And just saw that on Twitter for hopping on here. So the guy who made this pick probably wish he didn't make this pick. But that's what happens sometimes. Moving to the next pick here at 206. We got Rashee Rice coming off the board to the Chiefs. And this is a good landing spot for him considering the volume in the offense. This offense could allow him to flourish, but he's also an older G5 prospect. So we're just going to have to see how it materializes. But at 206, good price tag. At 207, we have a wide receiver who is highly talented that just fell in this draft. Jonathan Mingo to the Panthers. And the guy's got upside for days. The depth chart is a little bit murky, but if it's meant to be, he's going to move up the depth chart. So this is a good gamble here at 207 because looking at what's left on the board, it's just gambles going forward. At 208, we have one of the prized wide receivers from the analytics community, and it's Marvin Mims from the Broncos. Dude can get downfield and stretch it, has a good production profile, and is paired with Russell Wilson if he can ever learn how to cook. At 209, another wide receiver coming off the board. This is a wide receiver run here. Jalin Hyatt to the Giants. Dude can get air yards. Air yards is what we chase in season and is on a team that likes to chuck it deep in season as well. At 210, we got a good wide receiver coming off the board with good draft capital here in Jayden Reed. Good production profile. Good highlight tape. Lands with the Packers. Let's see how this team transitions from Aaron Rodgers. At 211, we got Tajae Spears of the Titans coming off the board here. Dude's going to be playing behind Derrick Henry. Should be the satellite back. Let's see how long this knee lasts because that ACL is not working out too great and the long term may not be working out too great as well. Let's round out the second round with the last pick here. It's a surpriser a little bit. And it's Zach Evans at 212 to the Rams. And the thing here is there's upside. The Rams are very ambiguous. There is a spot for him to compete, and you can really see how he can climb the depth chart here. You got Cam Akers. At the end of the year, though, he started to be productive, started to play well coming off of that injury, but still, you can tell that they wanted some more at running back, and every team needs more at running back. That's it for round 2. Let's go over it real quick. So we had a running back run in the beginning with Devon Achane, Kendre Miller, and Roschon Johnson, and then Zach Charbonnet. Hendon Hooker's your last quarterback with considerable draft capital. And then we had a wide receiver run with Rashee Rice, Jonathan Mingo, Marvin Mims, Jalin Hyatt, and Jayden Reed. And then we finished this round out with some running backs, Tajae Spears and Zach Evans. So let's dig into round 3. Let's see what happened here. And at the 301, we have a wide receiver coming off the board, Josh Downs from the Colts. Interesting landing spot here, but cheap price tag considering how much he was talked up during the draft process. Next pick off the board at 302, we have a tight end, and it's Sam Laporta of Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions needed a tight end. They paid up for Laporta. He is very sound, good at blocking, good at catching the ball. I think this is a great fit. I think he's going to transition rather quickly. At 303, another running back coming off the board here, and it's Tank Bigsby to the Jaguars. Sharing the backfield with Travis Etienne, but you got Trevor Lawrence there. Jaguars are on the upswing, and most teams are going to be having 2 or more running backs anyways. At 304 comes a wide receiver, Cedric Tillman to the Browns. The Browns are transitioning. Looks like they're going to be transitioning more to the pass as they're trying to get more passing weapons for Watson. Let's see what happens here as well. 305, 5th player off the board in the 3rd round. We're looking at Luke Musgrave of the Packers, and these guys loaded up at tight end. And they are transitioning, so they're trying to get weapons on their team. 306, we have a good dart throw here at Kayshon Boutte from the Patriots. And if you're going to go for a dart throw, go for a guy that has a chance that if he hits his upside, gives you top-tier production. That is Kayshon Boutte. At 307, we're going running back city, and you should be taking stabs at running backs. And here's Eric Gray from the Giants coming off the board. And he is on the depth chart, and if something happens to Saquon Barkley, he might get his opportunity. At 308, next running back coming off the board here is Izzy Abakanda from the Jets. And a lot of people are down on this, but for fantasy, if something happens to Breece Hall, we know they want to still use the running backs because that's what happened when Breece Hall left. They still used the running backs heavily. Izzy could be something there. Next pick off the board at 309, Chase Brown to the Bengals. Draft capital's not there, but this is a grand situation. Brown was very productive last year at Illinois, and this could be something going forward. At 310, 10th player off the board here in the 3rd round, we're looking at Luke Schoonmaker of the Dallas Cowboys. Dalton Schultz is gone. This kind of looks like an upgrade over time as he develops. We have some other tight ends here on the depth chart that could compete with Ferguson and Hendershot, but Schoonmaker can get downfield. He's athletic. He blocks. He does everything good, but he doesn't do anything great. He's that type of player. To 311, we're looking at Deuce Vaughn from the Cowboys. Murky situation, kinda. Late round pick. This guy was productive in college and is in a situation where they do use their running backs, like to use multiple running backs in their scheme. Could climb the depth chart here over time. And at 312, to round out the 1st round, we have another Packers tight end coming off the board. Tyler Kraft, always good take dart throws on tight ends late in your draft, considering the sunk cost is cheap. Let's go over to 3rd round real quick and recap what we just went over. First pick off the board was Josh Downs, followed by Sam Laporta. Tank Bigsby then comes off the board, then Cedric Tillman. Luke Musgrave comes off the board from the Packers. Then we take a shot on Kayshon Boutte. Then we have a little bit of a running back run with Eric Gray, Izzy Abakanda, Chase Brown. Luke Schoonmaker comes off the board for the Cowboys. Then we finish this off with Deuce Vaughn and Tyler Kraft. Now we're going to move on to the 4th round. Finish off this draft. So here at the 401, we're looking at Darnell Washington from the Steelers. Highly athletic tight end prospect. Fell down the board due to medicals. This could be another George Pickett situation for the Steelers because all he has to do is rehab, get better, be on the field a little bit. Maybe not the greatest for fantasy because they have another tight end there, but we'll just have to wait and see over time. 402, Evan Hall of the Colts coming off the board. And the thing about Jonathan Taylor is when he wasn't healthy and wasn't on the field last year, they wanted to use their running backs. They had jabroni running backs scoring fantasy points. We had some 20-point games from the backups. That could be Evan Hall in the future. At 403, Tyler Scott of the Bears. Bears got some speed. They're trying to bank on that going forward. 404, we're going with Tank Dell, wide receiver for the Texans. Speed out of the slot. Can he develop with Stroud? 405, Michael Wilson to the Cardinals. DeAndre Hopkins looks like he's staying there. We also got Marquise Brown maybe incline the depth chart here in the next few years. At 406, we got Brenton Strange of the Jaguars. You're taking shots on Trevor Lawrence. That's what you're buying here. At 407, Stetson Bennett of the Rams, because it's YOLO Superflex time. At 408, we're looking at DTR, Dorian Thompson-Robinson of the Browns. Again, Superflex, so you're taking stabs at quarterback. At 409, we're drafting Dwayne McBride of the Vikings. Another upside running back at the end of the draft that you can go after. At 410 here, Xavier Hutchinson of the Texans. Something's got to give on this depth chart over time, so you're just taking stabs at it. At 411, Darius Davis of the Chargers. And really, he's on the Chargers. This depth chart's going to transition to at wide receiver. Might get his opportunity later. At 412, to finish up this draft, we got Chris Rodriguez of the Commanders, productive at Kentucky. He can be productive here if we get attrition at the running back position. Let's recap the 4th round real quick. So we had Darnell Washington, Evan Hall, Tyler Scott, Tank Dell, Michael Wilson. Then we went with Brenton Strange, Stetson Bennett, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, Dwayne McBride, Xavier Hutchinson, Darius Davis, and Chris Rodriguez. I say overall, this is a pretty standard draft, but things got crazy in the late first a little bit. Ambiguity kind of got in the way here. I think some of these running backs fell a little bit later than what they should. I think the tight ends kind of got overdrafted a bit, but you know what? You're going to catch that in some drafts. That 110 to 205 range, it's going to be different. You're going to see some different guys here because it's a very ambiguous rookie draft class. And that's something you're going to have to expect considering all these running backs fell down the board. Rounds 3, rounds 4, just get your guy. But you may want to shoot your shot on some of these running backs because they are deemed talented. Even though the draft capital is not there, there's a chance that they can climb the depth chart like this and pop off due to attrition, due to getting opportunities. That's just what happens at the running back position. Odds are more likely with the running backs early than any other position, really, when you're looking at late round picks. But let me know in the comments below who you're trying to get in your rookie drafts, who you're looking to draft, who you're trying to get in the first round, or what moves you're trying to get. I want to hear about it. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button on the way out. It's only going to help you going forward when building your dynasty teams and in-season setting lineups. I want to thank you for watching. Catch you on the next video.